Have you ever walked into a room and felt like something was off? Maybe the energy felt heavy, or people seemed tense, or maybe everyone was laughing but you weren't sure if it was the right time to join in. That's where reading the room comes in. It's about understanding the unspoken vibes, emotions, and dynamics in any situation. Think of it as being a social detective, observing, listening, and sensing what's going on beneath the surface. The most important thing in communication is hearing what isn't said. So let's learn how we can master this skill and avoid those awkward moments. To read the room effectively, you need two key skills: cultural intelligence and empathy. Let's talk about cultural intelligence. It's about understanding and respecting how people from different cultures behave and communicate. Think of it as knowing the unwritten rules of social setting. And trust me, this skill is a life hack. Why? Because it's the key to unlocking deeper connections, avoiding awkward moments, and surviving in any environment. Whether you're at work, at a social event, or even traveling, here's why. In some cultures, making direct eye contact is a sign of confidence, but in others, it can be seen as a rude and disrespectful gesture. In a meeting, some people might jump right into the conversation, while others might wait for an invitation to speak. Why does this matter? Because when you understand these differences, you avoid awkward moments, you build trust, and you make people feel respected. It's like having the power that helps you connect with anyone, anywhere. So how do you improve on these aspects? Here's your 3-step answer. 1. Observe like a detective. Watch how people interact. Are they formal? Casual? Do they speak up or stay quiet? Notice the little details. They tell the real story. 2. Ask questions like a curious friend. Show genuine interest in others' preferences. A simple, "How do you usually handle this?" or "What's your take?" can open doors to deeper understanding. 3. Adapt like a chameleon. Adjust your behavior to make others feel comfortable. If someone seems hesitant, give them space. If they're more expressive, match their energy. And here's something to remember. The world isn't a monochrome painting. It's a vibrant mosaic. And you, the artist who brings it all together. Now let's talk about empathy. Have you ever had a bad day and just wanted someone to get it without you having to explain everything? That's what empathy is about. It's not just hearing someone's words. It's feeling what they're going through. It's like stepping into their shoes and seeing the world from their perspective. Think about this. If a colleague is unusually quiet, maybe they are feeling overwhelmed. If a friend avoids a topic, maybe it's uncomfortable for them. Why does empathy matter? Because when people feel understood, they feel valued. And when they feel valued, they trust you more. So how do you become more empathetic? Listen actively. Let them speak without interrupting or jumping to conclusions. Observe their body language. A person's face and tone often say more than their words. Acknowledge feelings. A simple "I hear you" or "that sounds tough" can make a huge difference. Empathy is seeing with eyes of another, listening with ears of another, and feeling with the heart of another. At the end of the day, empathy isn't about fixing problems. It's about being there for someone. And sometimes that's all they need. Now that we've talked about the two key skills, let's look at some practical ways to improve your ability to read the room. These are simple steps you can start using right away. The first one, observe before you speak. Before jumping into a conversation, take a moment to observe. Look around the room. What do you see? Are people smiling and relaxed? Or do they look tense? Is the energy high and lively or quiet and serious? For example, imagine you walk into a party and you notice that laughter has stopped. People are talking in low voices and the mood feels heavy. Instead of making loud entrance, you might choose to approach quietly and match the mood before engaging. This small act of observation can make a huge difference in how you connect with others. The second one is to listen to what is not being said. Here's the secret. People don't always say what they feel, but their body language speaks volumes. Arms crossed, they might feel defensive or closed off. A forced smile, they could be uncomfortable. Avoiding eye contact, they might be unsure or hesitant. Let's say you're in a meeting and the client says, "I like the idea," but their body language tells a different story. Their smile seems forced and they avoid looking at you directly. If you're paying attention, you'll sense something is off. Instead of assuming, you can ask, Do you have any concerns? I'd love to hear your thoughts. As the saying goes, the biggest communication problem is that we do not listen to understand. We listen to reply. So pay attention, not just to the words, but to what's left unsaid. Now let's talk about common mistakes people make when they don't read the room. These are traps we fall into without even realizing it. And trust me, they can cost you big time. The first one is assuming everyone thinks like you. This is like showing up to a wedding in a casual t-shirt and jeans while everyone else is in saris and sherwanis. Awkward, right? Imagine you're in a team meeting, all pumped up and ready to brainstorm. You throw out 5 ideas and rapid fire, expecting everyone to jump in, but instead, silence. Some people look hesitant, others just nod politely. So what's going on? Maybe some people need time to process before speaking. Maybe someone had a rough morning and isn't in the mood to contribute. Or maybe, culturally, they come from a background where speaking up too quickly is seen as disrespectful. So what's the fix? Instead of assuming everyone communicates like you, pause and observe. Notice how people engage. Ask open-ended questions like, what are your thoughts? Or would you like some time to think and then come back? The second one is ignoring non-verbal cues. Words only tell you half the story. The real tea, it's in the body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice. Let's say you're catching up with a friend. You ask, is everything alright? And they reply quickly saying, yes, everything's fine. But let's look deeper. They avoid eye contact. Their voice is flat and unenthusiastic. Their hands are fidgeting. And they're really fine? No. Pay attention to what's not being said here. If someone's body language doesn't match their words, gently probe the questions like, are you sure everything is okay? Would you like to discuss anything? The third one is overreacting or underreacting. The energy in a room can change in seconds, and how you respond can either help or make the situation worse. Overreacting. Imagine you're in a team meeting and someone challenges your idea. You feel defensive and say sharply, I don't think you understand my point. Suddenly, the room gets tense and people look uncomfortable. Underreacting. Now picture this. You're at a family gathering and someone shares bad news. They lost their job. Instead of acknowledging their feelings, you just nod and say, let's go have a cup of coffee. It makes the moment feel dismissive. The key is balance. Instead of reacting emotionally, take a breath and say, that's interesting perspective. Can you share more? If someone shares something serious, show empathy. That sounds really tough. How are you holding up? Why does this matter? Let me leave you with this. Reading the room isn't just a skill. It's a mindset. It's about choosing to be present, to listen deeply, and to connect authentically. Remember, every interaction is an opportunity to build trust, to prevent conflicts, and to create moments that matter. The best part is you don't need to be perfect. You just need to start. When you understand emotions and cultural differences, people feel heard and respected. That builds trust. Spotting tension early helps you prevent conflicts before they escalate. Responding thoughtfully strengthens teamwork and communication. In short, be aware, stay present, and adapt. And trust me, people will notice this. The best and the most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or touched. They must be felt with heart. Don't let this knowledge fade away. It's not about making big changes. It's about the small intentional shifts you make in the moment. So next time you walk into the room, pause, observe, listen, and adjust. You'll be surprised at how smoother your interactions become. You have the power to transform every room you walk into, not by changing who you are, but by understanding who others are.